Okay, day 76. No Eric Braverman. This is part 3. The reason why I'm doing these is a lot of these now is because you never know when there's going to be a knock at the door. We're getting into some sensitive stuff. So I think you see from the last video about the Denver school that there has been it's basically the CIA wanting to undo the Church Commission reforms of 1976. So there's a period where a lot doesn't get done in the Carter administration. Then starting in 1981 with Reagan, you really see this plan come to shape, and it's really the CIA infiltrating the FBI through what's known as the Counterterrorism Division. So I'm not going to go into that. You watch previous episodes if you want to see how that's done. But I wanted to say, Hillary has used this surveillance power. And Hillary goes back with this project to 1984 with the Mena Airport. But Hillary has used these surveillance powers since 1993, since she got in the White House, in the West Wing, to extort money, to get dirt on people, extort money. If they didn't pay the extortion, then she outed them and they got hammered. And so you're going to find that this is a 23-year history ever since she's been in the West Wing. Now, there's also people in Arkansas that got destroyed, but it wasn't as formal of a plan. The Clinton Foundation has been a extortion operation, mainly through wiretaps initially. Then it went to intercepting cell phone calls. Then it went into intercepting texts, and the whole NSA thing. That whole rise up has been a extortion operation, and I showed that in previous episodes. I won't show that today. Anybody who's gotten in the way of that projection and trajectory also I can show has been killed. Now, with Braverman, he went under surveillance as soon as he went to the press in March of 2015, last year. But he really didn't get nervous. He's been under surveillance that whole time, 7x24 surveillance. But he really didn't get nervous until the WikiLeaks people started dying and the DNC leaks. So I'll show a quick chart of that. These are the folks that are associated more with the DNC leaks, that Sean Lucas and Seth Rich, everybody knows those. But John Ash here and Victor Thorne are more, this is the more hacks. These are the more China hacks. You're going to find out that this is going to be a lot of hacks that I'll show later. The OPM hack, they're still doing hacks for Hillary, the 5 guys in China. And this guy is going to be, I'll end up like one of these guys. I'll be a Hillary detractor that normally they don't bother, but at some point, anyway, and here's the WikiLeaks guys. So this is all happening within 1 month in May, or May, June. But these are kind of the 3 musketeers of WikiLeaks, and they all have died since May. First Ratner goes through kind of a cancer thing, and then Jones, he's the U.S. lawyer who founded it with McFadden, and Jim Jones is the UK lawyer, so he gets pushed in front of a train in August, and then McFadden dies in October 22nd of last year. So you can see how close all of them were to Julian Assange. The reason why Julian Assange is not dead is because it just becomes obvious then at that point. I mean, even where kids in grade school, say who killed Julian Assange, and they all raise their hand. So that's kind of where Braverman goes. This is when Braverman goes to the Russian embassy, and then he gets told to come back a week later. The Russian embassy can't figure out what to do, but they tell him, I'll tell him to come back a week later. Then that's when he gets intercepted. So I am sure that he got intercepted, and he's resting comfortably in a mental health facility. And he's probably released now, but I'm sure they told his mother that he was suicidal, and he did that 6 weeks thing with the drugs. Watch the last episode to just kind of look and see how the stories government tells us sometimes aren't true. And the reason they do that is because they want more police powers. This has been a 23-year, very carefully planned, piece by piece knockdown of the U.S. Constitution. Basically take the Bill of Rights, and it's an attack directly on everyone. And the last one's the Second Amendment. I've never owned a gun. I'm not a gun person, gun fan, or anything like that, so I don't have a chip on my shoulder about the Second Amendment. But basically the strategy was take out the First Amendment, take out the Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure, take out the Third Amendment, standing armies, because this a group of informants from the crime bill in 1995. You'll find the links down below if you go to my slides. Created this 100,000 person community policing organization. It was very good when it started, and then up till 9/11. And then 9/11 was kind of like the go time for all this stuff to come in. They needed a catalyzing event for all this police powers stuff to come in. So anyway, you're going to have attack on the First Amendment, Third Amendment, standing army, Fourth Amendment, illegal search and seizure, Sixth Amendment with right to testify and family members testifying and so forth, all the way down. States' rights, I can't remember which one that is. So in habeas corpus now, with the new Fort Lauderdale shooting, they're going after habeas corpus with, they want more than a 72-hour hold. So this is a very calculated progression. I am going to just say probably with these kinds of information, things coming out, obviously McCabe is probably believing me now that I am being helped by not only retired FBI, but I am also being helped by active FBI who believe their country is under a coup. And I'm going to just say it right out, and believe me or not. So, so Monica Peterson is going to be the one who unwinds this whole Haiti thing, believe it or not. So that's coming. This whole microfinancing thing, you're going to find out that she is actually the one who unwinds the whole thing. And I can't prove that yet, but a lot of this is bridge building. And what I mean by that is when you build a bridge, you have to go out a little bit further and suspend out a little bit further. It's hanging from cables, and then the workers come in and buttress, support what the bridge, let's call this the bridge here. And it's the same thing with this open source project. I swing out a little more bridge, it's hanging by a thread, hanging by cables, and then you fantastic contributors come in with all these fantastic sources and citations. And that's what makes the bridge get built. There's no sense for me to swing the cable way out here, have nobody believe me, and then not see any sources and citations and just be swinging in the wind here. So that's the reason I know sometimes people say, well, I just want the end of the story. How does it end? Well, it ends here, okay? But we can't get there yet until we, put in some segments to the bridge, okay? So I went over this last time, so I won't. The only thing I wanted to point here is this is just one of the steps in their progression, one of the steps into basically taking apart the Church Commission. All the reforms in the Church Commission, which happened because of this, because of Cy Hirsch uncovering this operation all those years ago. So it's funny how all this is just one wheel. The whole story is just one wheel, starting with Cy Hirsch, and now it's going to end with Cy Hirsch. So you've seen this slide before. I'll just lay out right now, Mr. McCabe, your Miami office isn't as closed and tight as you think it is, and your Boston office isn't either. So I just let you in on that little secret, and I think everyone knows the Counterterrorism Division, why it was created for now, and I'm getting more help than ever from active FBI who want to do a counter coup. Basically, it's a counter coup versus this coup here. So that's all for today. You never know when you're going to get a knock on the door, so that's why I'm recording a little bit more frequently, or a loud knock on the door. Thanks.